The night was dragging on. Endlessly, it seemed. I was tossing and turning, sheets tangled in a chaotic dance around my restless legs. The clock ticked mockingly, echoing in the otherwise silent room, marking the passage of yet another hour where sleep remained just out of reach. Outside, the world was silent, wrapped in the deep tranquility of the early morning hours. But inside, my mind was anything but peaceful. I tried counting sheep, counting backwards, even picturing serene landscapes, anything to calm the relentless racing of thoughts. But it was one of those nights, the kind where your brain decides it's time to review every decision you've ever made. Questioning, probing, refusing to quiet down. Glancing at the glowing red numbers of the clock again, I saw it was now 3 a.m. With a sigh, I admitted defeat to the sleep that wouldn't come. Then, an idea struck me, a possible escape from the relentless mental churn. Meditation. I'd read about its calming effects, how it could clear the mind, ease the soul. I was skeptical, but desperate times call for desperate measures. I got up, cleared a small space on the floor beside my bed. The room was cool, and I could feel the chill seep into my bones, adding a physical sensation to my mental unrest. I sat down, cross-legged, trying to remember the steps. Close your eyes, breathe deeply, focus on the rhythm. In, out, in, out. I tried to envision my thoughts as leaves floating down a stream, letting them drift away with each exhale. Slowly, the frantic pace of my mind began to ebb, giving way to a rare moment of peace, a silence that was both external and internal. Little did I know as I settled into this newfound tranquility that I was on the brink of an experience that would stretch the very boundaries of my reality. This was not going to be just any meditation session. This was the beginning of a journey, so surreal, it would shake the foundations of what I considered possible. As I settled deeper into the meditation, the room around me seemed to gradually fade away. The darkness behind my closed eyelids deepened, and the faint ambient noises of the night, the distant bark of a dog, the whisper of wind against the window, receded like the ebbing tide. My breathing slowed, each inhale merging seamlessly with each exhale, creating a steady rhythm that anchored me amidst the growing silence. But then, something shifted. It was subtle at first, like the first hints of dawn on a dark horizon. A sensation of lightness enveloped me, as if gravity, that dependable force pinning me to the earth, had decided to loosen its grip. My heart rate, which had slowed to a gentle thudding beat, now seemed incongruous with the tranquility of the moment. A part of me wanted to snap open my eyes, to ground myself back in the familiar, but a deeper, more curious part urged me to stay the course. I focused on the sensation of lightness, allowing it to guide my consciousness. It felt as if I were floating, drifting upwards, an ethereal balloon untethered from reality. The sensation was exhilarating, freeing, unlike anything I'd felt before. Was this part of meditation? Was I doing it right? Or was I slipping into a dream? The silent blackness behind my eyes started to morph, pulsating gently with unseen colors, a cosmic dance of shadows and light. I felt a momentary surge of fear. Was I losing my grip on reality? But the fear was quickly replaced by a profound curiosity, an eagerness to explore whatever this new dimension had to reveal. Suddenly, with a jolt that was felt more than understood, the room, the night, my very body seemed to dissolve. I was no longer sitting in the familiarity of my bedroom. I wasn't even sure I was sitting at all. The concepts of sitting and bedroom seemed irrelevant, distant memories from a previous existence. There I was, or rather my consciousness was, suspended in a void that was neither dark nor light. Time seemed irrelevant. I could have been there for a moment or an eternity, but the feeling of being unmoored from everything I knew was startlingly clear. Then, just as I was getting accustomed to the void, reality, or what I now perceived as reality, shifted again. A new world started to crystallize around me, coming into focus with vibrant clarity. I was no longer an observer, I was a participant, though in what, I was yet to discover. The transition was complete, and the journey into the unknown had truly begun. The transition from the void to this new reality was like emerging from underwater into a vivid, overwhelming panorama. My senses were bombarded by stimuli that defied everything I knew. The air, if you could call it that, was filled with fragrances that were complex and unidentifiable, evoking emotions rather than specific memories. The ground beneath me, or perhaps around me, was neither solid nor entirely ethereal, supporting my presence in a way that felt secure, yet utterly foreign. The colors. Oh, the colors were unlike anything conceivable on Earth. Imagine hues that don't exist in our spectrum, colors that you feel more than see. They shifted and changed with my thoughts, responding to my emotions in a swirling, mesmerizing dance. I stood. Again, the term stood feels inadequate, but language falls short here. In awe, trying to absorb this alien reality. Before me unfolded an architecture of impossible geometries, structures that defied Euclidean principles, pulsating with life and light. They seemed organic, as if grown rather than built, intertwining seamlessly with the landscape which itself was a tapestry of unimaginable flora. Plants, or what I assumed were plants, emitted soft luminescence and subtle music, a symphony of natural existence that was both alien and inexplicably comforting. And then, the beings. My initial shock at their appearance quickly gave way to a profound sense of familiarity. They were undeniably otherworldly, with elongated limbs, translucent skin, through which pulsed a soft inner light, and large, expressive eyes that held depths of wisdom and kindness. Despite their strange features, I felt an immediate connection, a sense of belonging that transcended appearance or language. Communicating without words, they welcomed me into their midst, their thoughts merging with mine in a gentle flow of information and emotion. They shared glimpses of their lives, not through narratives or images, but through direct experience. I felt the joy of their communal gatherings, the serene bliss of their connection with nature, the deep unspoken bonds that united them. I was led, or rather guided by a gentle persuasion of thought, into one of the luminous structures. Inside, the space defied the external dimensions, expanding and contracting in harmony with the rhythm of the universe they were attuned to. The interior was a harmony of form and function, filled with objects and devices that were at once completely alien and intuitively understandable. Each item seemed to be alive, responding to the presence and needs of the beings. As I adjusted to this new form of existence, I began to experience their daily life. I engaged in their rituals, which celebrated the interconnectedness of life and the cosmos. I felt the collective memories of their species, a tapestry of shared experiences and learned wisdom stretching back through eons. The sensation was overwhelming, enlightening, and utterly disorienting. I was living a life entirely foreign to me, yet I felt an inexplicable sense of homecoming. As I delved deeper into this alien existence, I became aware of an underlying current of urgency, a sense that this extraordinary experience was temporary, fleeting. And amidst this whirlwind of alien life and cosmic harmony, that sensation of being pulled back began. A tug, gentle at first, then insistent, drawing me away from this world that had begun to feel like home. The thought of leaving filled me with a sudden desperate sadness. I wasn't ready to say goodbye, to let go of this connection, this broader understanding of existence. But the pull didn't care for readiness. The vibrant world around me started to fade, the colors dimming, the sounds receding, as I was drawn inexorably back to my own reality, to the confines of my human existence. The alien family, sensing my impending departure, shared a moment of profound farewell, a mixture of emotions and thoughts that left an indelible mark on my soul. And just like that, the connection was severed. The cosmic journey was over, but the impact of the experience would linger, reshaping my understanding of life, existence, and the boundless possibilities of the universe. In this alien family, I found an unexpected sense of peace and belonging. Their life was harmonious, a delicate balance of giving and receiving with their environment that seemed so natural, so right. Their relationships were built on mutual respect and a deep intuitive understanding that transcended physical forms and language. I became enveloped in their world, participating in rituals that celebrated the cycles of their planet, which danced to a rhythm different from Earth's yet felt universally familiar. Their world was a symphony of interconnectedness, where each element, from the smallest microbe to the largest structure, played an integral part in the whole. I learned to communicate in their silent language, thoughts and feelings flowing freely without the barriers of words. The clarity and depth of understanding were astonishing, revealing the limitations of spoken language I'd always accepted as normal. But as I grew accustomed to their ways, integrating more with each passing moment, a sense of unease began to build within me. It was a feeling of being out of place, not physically, but temporally, like a puzzle piece from a different set trying to fit into a picture that wasn't quite right. This undercurrent of dissonance grew stronger, pulling at the edges of my consciousness, a reminder of a reality I had left behind, but that still claimed me. This pull, this tether to my earthly existence, began as a gentle nudge, a whisper in the back of my mind. But with each passing moment, it grew more insistent, more desperate. It was as if an invisible force was slowly reeling me back, urging me to remember my human form, my life, and my responsibilities. The alien family sensed my growing distress, their eyes filled with empathy and concern. They gathered around me, offering comfort through their touch, a shared warmth that transcended physical boundaries. Despite their support, the sensation of being drawn away intensified. It felt like waking from a dream, the dream world slipping through my fingers no matter how tightly I tried to grasp it. I struggled against the inevitable, reaching out to my new family, trying to anchor myself to their world, to the revelations and connections I had found there. The colors around me started to dim, the vibrant landscape of their world fading into gray. The once lucid communication became garbled, as if I were suddenly speaking a foreign language poorly. I could feel their sadness too, mingling with mine, a collective mourning for the brief but profound connection we had shared. As the pull became a yank, a palpable force dragging me across dimensions, the alien beings and their world became shadows, then mere impressions, then nothing at all. I was left reaching into the void, grasping at the remnants of an experience so profound, so transformative, that returning to my old life felt unimaginable. Yet the inexorable force of my own reality refused to relent. The physical sensations of my earthly body began to return, the weight of my limbs, the texture of air in my lungs, the familiar yet now alien sensation of gravity. My bedroom came back into focus, the darkness of early morning enveloping me, a stark, silent witness to the journey I had just undertaken. The transition back was jarring, leaving me gasping, drenched in sweat, heart pounding as if I had been running from something or to something. But what haunted me most as I lay there, trying to reconcile the profound with the mundane, was the loss of that deep, unspoken connection, the sense of unity and understanding that now felt like a half-remembered dream. But it was more than a dream, had to be. The emotions were too intense, the experiences too vivid. I lay in the silence of my room, a room that now felt less like a sanctuary and more like a cage, pondering the reality of what I had experienced. Was it a glimpse into a parallel existence, a window into what life could be beyond the confines of our limited perceptions? Or was it merely a figment of my imagination, a construct of a mind stretched too far by the stresses of daily life? The question spun in my head, unanswered, as I grappled with the longing for a place that felt more like home than any I had known. The physical separation from the alien family was painful, but the emotional and existential detachment was agonizing. I was torn between two worlds, between the familiar and the unfathomably new, between the comfort of the known and the allure of the unknown. And as the first rays of dawn began to seep through the blinds, marking the return to a day that now seemed impossibly mundane, I knew that my life had been changed forever. I was back in my own world, feeling mentally exhausted, but undeniably awakened to the vast, mysterious possibilities of the universe. The experience had left me with more questions than answers, but it had also opened a door to something beyond, something ineffable, yet undeniably real. I was left with a deep-seated need to understand, to explore further. The alien family, their world, their way of life, had imprinted on me a profound sense of unity and purpose. My return to earthly normality was not a return to the same person I was before. I carried with me the memories, the feelings, and the undeniable truth of my experience. As I lay there, with the first light of morning painting my room in shades of reality, I felt an overwhelming sense of mission. This wasn't just about me, it was about all of us, about our place in the vast tapestry of the cosmos. The isolation I felt was not just physical separation from the aliens, but a metaphorical distance from the rest of humanity, who were unaware of the vast possibilities that lay beyond our perceived reality. The experience, though ripped away so abruptly, had given me a gift. The knowledge that there is more to existence than the tangible, more to life than the daily grind. It left me with an insatiable curiosity and a new perspective on life, one that saw beyond the confines of our world and into the possibilities of the universe. I knew the journey ahead would be challenging. There would be skepticism, disbelief, perhaps even ridicule. But the fire that had been lit within me could not be extinguished by doubt. I had to share my story, to reach out to others who might have experienced the unknown, to build a bridge between worlds, between realities. So I turned to the only outlet I could think of, the vast, interconnected world of the internet. I started documenting my experience, reaching out through blogs, forums, and social media, searching for others like me. I knew they were out there, those who had touched the unknown and were forever changed by it. The road ahead was uncertain, filled with potential pitfalls and misunderstandings, but the drive to connect, to explore, and to understand was stronger than any fear. I was no longer just a solitary individual. I was a messenger of the vast, uncharted cosmos, a bridge between the known and the unknown. And as I finally rose from my bed, stepping into the new day with a sense of purpose, I couldn't help but feel that the journey was only just beginning. The real adventure, the true exploration, wasn't out there among the stars. It was here within us, waiting to be discovered. The room was silent as I sat up, the remnants of the otherworldly journey clinging to me like a second skin. My body felt heavy, anchored by gravity, so starkly contrasted with the weightlessness of my recent experience. I looked around, the familiar contours of my room appearing alien after the vibrant, ethereal landscapes I had just left behind. The transition back was not just a return to a place, but a re-entry into a state of being, one filled with limitations, definitions, and stark realities. The early morning light was now creeping more boldly into the room, casting long, dramatic shadows and painting everything with a hue of normalcy. But normal had lost its meaning. How could I return to everyday life with the knowledge that such unimaginable worlds existed beyond our own? How could I reconcile the mundane tasks of daily existence with the profound experiences I had just undergone? My mind was a whirlwind of thoughts and emotions, struggling to process the reality-shattering journey. The sensation of being torn from that otherworldly existence lingered, a feeling of loss so profound it was as though I had been exiled from paradise. Yet, there was also a deep-seated sense of gratitude. Gratitude for the incredible journey, for the glimpse into the unknown, and for the undeniable truth that our universe was far more complex and magnificent than I had ever imagined. I rose from my bed, feeling a strange kinship with every atom of my being, every object in my room, and beyond that, with every living creature on this planet. The separation between me and other seemed trivial now, a mere construct of language and societal norms. I had experienced existence from an entirely different perspective, and I could not unsee the interconnectedness of all things. The urge to share my experience was overwhelming. But where to start? Who would believe such an outlandish tale? The skepticism of the world felt like a formidable barrier. Yet the need to connect, to find others who had experienced or believed in similar journeys, was driving me forward. There had to be others out there who had touched the edges of the unknown, who had felt the fabric of reality in a different way. With renewed purpose, I turned on my computer, my fingers hesitating only for a moment before beginning to type. I started to document everything, every sensation, every color, every emotion. The words poured out, a torrent of thoughts and reflections trying to encapsulate an experience that was beyond words. As I wrote, I realized this was more than just a personal recount. It was a message, a call to the curious, the seekers, and the open-minded. It was an invitation to explore the unknown, to question the nature of reality, and to open up to the possibility of other worlds, other existences. My story, once confined to the pages of my journal, now found its way onto the internet, into forums, and onto social media platforms. I was casting a digital bottle into the vast ocean of the web, hoping it would find those who could understand, who had shared similar experiences, or who longed to know more. The initial reactions were mixed: skepticism, ridicule, curiosity, and awe. But among the myriad responses, there were those few precious ones that resonated with understanding and shared experience. They were the whispers in the noise, the threads that began to weave a tapestry of connection among strangers bound by a common thread of extraordinary experiences. As I engaged with these newfound connections, a community slowly began to form, a space where stories of the unknown were not dismissed, but explored with open minds and hearts. It was the beginning of a journey, not just for me, but for all of us who had felt the call of the unknown. And so, I found myself not at the end of a journey, but at the beginning of a new chapter. The experience had left me with more questions than answers, but it had also given me a purpose. In the telling of my story, in the sharing of my experience, I had opened a door not just for myself, but for others too. The dawn of understanding was breaking, not just upon the horizon of the earth, but upon the horizons of our minds. The universe, with all its mysteries and wonders, was waiting for us, inviting us to explore its depths. And though I had returned to my own world, I knew that this was merely the start of an even greater exploration. An exploration not of space, but of consciousness and the boundless possibilities that lie within and beyond us all.